What's going on, everybody? Hope we're having a wonderful Thursday out there, and hopefully the sun has stayed out for you wherever you are at. A lot of places, though, in the east here are really getting stuck under these clouds, and probably even more so than I thought yesterday, especially here in Charlotte. We had a really nice sunny day, but now that we're getting kind of closer towards sunset, this kind of area of clouds has moved into sections of the Carolinas. So it's kind of been hit or miss. Some places have really been stuck completely under the clouds, and some places have been really sunny all day. So it really depends where you're at, but what I can tell you is over the next couple of days, I do expect these clouds and this really windy weather that we've been seeing to kind of finally work its way out as this upper level low begins to dissipate and work back out into the Atlantic Ocean. Excuse me. So we'll definitely talk about it in today's video. We're also going to talk about later this week what we can expect here in the eastern half of the country, as well as a little bit of severe weather in Texas over the next couple of days. So those are really going to be the focuses of this video. We're also going to briefly touch on kind of the long term, that 6 to 10 day window, and what we can expect kind of going into early next week. So with all that said, if you are new here, definitely consider subscribing, and if you like the video, definitely consider hitting that like button. Sure helps out the channel a lot. But with all that said, let's go ahead and get into the forecast. So we'll start here with radar like we normally do, and you can see we still have this big upper level low over the Midwest continuing to influence our weather here in places like Michigan, Ohio, West Virginia, where we're still seeing snow there in the higher elevations in May now. So kind of crazy stuff there, but really it's just been kind of, it's felt like this miserable pattern in the Northeast and the Midwest for what feels like forever now. And again, even little bits of this energy have kind of worked their way over the Appalachian chain and gotten into sections of the Carolinas here where we have some clouds and even a little bit of light rain over the Charlotte metro here. The other story here is this kind of area back out west that you can see a bit better on satellite. So whenever we take a look at satellite, again, you can see this big upper level low over the Northeast. But we also have another low pressure kind of spinning off the California coast, and this is eventually going to help to cause some severe weather here in Texas over the next kind of 48 hours or so. So kind of looking at the next 48 hours here in the Northeast, again, expecting this rain and mountain snow in West Virginia and sections of Pennsylvania, and even as far south as the highest elevations of North Carolina, seeing some snow this afternoon. That will continue into this evening, into early tomorrow morning, where I think tomorrow morning we're going to have another big batch of this snow up there kind of in the higher elevations of West Virginia, and that will continue even into tomorrow afternoon and evening, with rain also continuing with scattered showers throughout just about all of the Northeast going into tomorrow afternoon. So this pattern's still hanging around here, but as we get into tomorrow evening, into the overnight tomorrow, into the early hours of Thursday, I do expect a much nicer picture for the eastern half of the country. Now, with that said, there still likely will be a couple areas of drizzle and maybe even some mountain snow left over going into the early hours of Thursday, but much less widespread rain as we get into Thursday here into the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic. So as we bring this ahead even further, this is going into Thursday afternoon. You can notice just overall much nicer, not nearly as widespread rain, although still some scattered showers there in the Northeast. Just really much nicer than we are experiencing right now. So that is going into Thursday afternoon and into Thursday evening. Now, as we get into Thursday evening, you'll notice we do have this next area of unsettled weather back out to the west. So taking a look at that, we will in just a second. First, I want to show you these snowfall totals here that we're expecting in West Virginia. Still nearly another foot of snow to come for those highest elevations here into eastern West Virginia. So places like Snowshoe really continuing to rack up the snow totals here, and it's kind of a shame that skiing season is over, and I'm sure a lot of the resorts out there are wondering where this was back in January and February, where we were well above average and we couldn't even make snow at night during sometimes or during that kind of period of time, and now we're getting feet of snow to start off May. So kind of just really crazy to see there. So now taking this kind of back out west a little bit towards Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and even sections here of southeastern Colorado. This is for tomorrow. We do have a marginal risk of severe weather, so nothing off the charts here, but definitely enough to keep your kind of eye out onto radar and for any kind of warnings that we may receive in this area tomorrow. And looking at kind of the main threats that we are going to deal with tomorrow, those are really going to be kind of that hail and that wind outlook. So not a very high tornado chance at all tomorrow, although that chance is there, but really just mainly for hail and wind if any storms do become severe at all tomorrow afternoon. Now, as we go into Thursday, we have a bit more of a kind of higher risk of severe weather here from Dallas back down towards San Antonio, up towards Tulsa and Oklahoma City, also under the gun here for some of that severe weather, on Thursday. So I think we'll have more of kind of a all hazards threat on Thursday with definitely hail and strong winds, but even more of a tornado threat on Thursday compared to tomorrow here through this part of the country. Now, why are we getting all this? As we kind of move this ahead into Thursday, you'll notice this low pressure that we were talking about over California kind of eventually works its way inland, and with that, it's going to bring enough kind of wind energy as well as forcing to get some storms to fire up here on Thursday afternoon. So as we bring this into Thursday afternoon, you'll notice here kind of this area of those storms forming where we have that slight risk, and with that we run into that risk of severe weather. So again, this is because of this low pressure kind of finally working inland a little bit, helping to supply some wind energy, as well as enough kind of return of moisture from the Gulf of Mexico to kind of bring back some of those showers and storms. Now, as we bring this into Friday, I do expect this to be able to kind of creep its way further eastbound, and we could have a bit of a rainy Friday here into sections of the Tennessee River Valley. So Memphis, Nashville, even as far south as Jackson, Birmingham, Atlanta, and even as far east as Greenville, Spartanburg, and Charlotte could see some rain during the day Friday, and that could even hang around into the early morning hours of Saturday here into the Carolinas and Georgia, before that kind of begins to fizzle out a little bit, I think, going into Sunday. So this weekend is kind of really a toss-up here in the southeast. I think, again, will really be nice from now through about Friday before kind of whatever area of leftover disturbed weather from Texas kind of works its way into the southeast. And this could hang around into Sunday, but I really think the worst of this will be overnight Friday into Saturday. And Sunday does look a bit nicer, although we could still have some scattered storms here into the southeast on Sunday. Now, the good news here for the Northeast, who's seen, plenty of rain, we look to really stay pretty dry after the upper level low moves out between whenever that does move out going into Thursday and Friday, all the way through this coming weekend. So that is some good news for you folks up in the Northeast. As for the Southeast, though, a little bit of a different story. We'll be kind of dry now, and then we'll get the kind of moisture return going into this weekend. Now, the other big time story is going to be those temperatures. So we are expecting above average temperatures to return to the forecast going into early next week. But with that, we will also have a higher chance of rain through much of the continental United States. Now, another thing I did want to show you, and I'm actually going to go back to a different map to show it to you here if I can find it. Here we go. We will look at dew point, and actually we'll just look at dew point, not wind barbs. Again, we're really dry right now. We have a lot of this wind, but as we go into kind of Wednesday and Thursday, again, we get that moisture return back out to the west. This is going to help us kind of fuel that severe weather, but as we get further ahead into this weekend, when those rain chances increase back further east, that humidity and those dew points are going to come back with it. So although we're really dry in the east right now, this is for this Sunday. You'll notice we get a big time return of kind of more of this muggy springtime atmosphere. So if you can, definitely get out there and kind of enjoy the drier weather that we're experiencing right now, because as you can tell, going long term, this area of kind of muggy weather looks to hang around for a while after we get into this weekend. So again, if you're experiencing nice weather right now, congratulations, because not all of us are, especially up there in the Northeast, but luckily I do think we clear out there into the Northeast going into this weekend, although we kind of then return those precipitation chances into the Southeast this weekend. And also we're dry right now in terms of, dew point and how it feels outside, but as we get into this weekend, I do expect more of that springtime atmosphere to return. So, we're in a bit of a break from spring and summer right now, but that will definitely change as we go into next week, and we're right back above average. We'll be in kind of early to middle May by the time we get into late next week, and that is really going to be enough to make it feel like summertime for a lot of folks out there. So with all that said, definitely make sure you get out there and kind of enjoy any nice weather you see over the next 24 hours or so, and I will see you all tomorrow.